Okay, I'm back with ClarkBartram.com. It's the new year, and in the first video, if you haven't watched the first video yet, you better go back. You gotta watch it. It's the foundation of really getting in the best shape of your life, not just short term, but long term. And again, I'm here with one of the top fitness coaches in the world to help you get in the best shape of your life. And now we're going to get into more of the specific how-tos, because I know you've coached thousands and thousands of people internationally on some very, very specific things that you know have proven to work, obviously for you, for me, and many other people. So what are those things, Clark? What are some of the real practical how-tos that people need to do to get the abs and get in shape?
Right. Again, what I'm going to tell you is nothing new. You know, all of this information is time-honored and tested, and it dates back to Jack LaLanne and Charles Atlas and people that have been pioneers in this industry. And the number one thing, if I were to cut up fitness in a pie, the whole entire pie is nutrition. It's not 50%, it's not 80%, it is 100% of your success.
Yeah.
Here's what people do. They sabotage their results. We're in my training lab, as I call it right now. I have ellipticals, I have treadmills, I have weights, I have all type of really cool different training things in here. It doesn't matter what you do in the gym. If you're not eating right, at home, on the road, when you travel, I don't care what your lifestyle is. If you say, Clark, I travel a lot, well, you know what? Figure it out, because you know you travel a lot.
Yeah.
So if you're not focusing on your nutrition 100%, you will never accomplish the body that you want to have. You will never see your abs to the degree that you could see them if you were focusing on your abs. You will never have a lean, muscular look that you want. And you know, you will never rise to that next level. People always justify eating something by saying, well, I'm on the treadmill. It's like treading water. You know, you're there, your head's just sticking above water, and you're treading underneath. You're doing all this work and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
So if you begin to focus on your nutrition, it's really basic. You don't have to do anything huge. I don't expect you to change your lifestyle overnight. Here's one thing that you can do. Write down for the next 2 days everything that you put in your mouth. Everything you drink, everything you eat, an approximate amount of what you're eating, and the time. See how the meal spacing is. And then look at it for yourself. And you'll see those things in there that you shouldn't be eating. You know, a piece of cake, a lot of bread. And carbohydrates are not the enemy. That's not an issue. We'll talk about that in a minute. But that's a big eye-opener for a lot of people, because, oh my God, I didn't realize I drank that many sodas, or I didn't realize I had that much bread, or I didn't realize I ate 3 donuts. So then from there, what you can do is slowly cut back as you see that list. And then that list will be helpful to a nutritionist as well, too.
Yeah. It's funny, 10 years ago, I thought I was healthy eating. And then the next year, I'm like, what was I eating last year? And then the next year, I'm like, gosh, why did I eat that bad last year? And one thing that I've learned is it's inch by inch, you learn how not to be, because everybody says they're eating healthy. What I've learned how to do is just eat a little bit healthier based on new knowledge.
It's levels. It's like learning. We learn in layers. We grow in layers. We never jump from one extreme to another. It's a layered effect. So the nutrition part is 100%. Now let's break that up a little bit. You know, you have your different nutrients that you have to consider: protein, fat, and carbohydrates. Okay. Carbohydrates are not the enemy. Okay, you need them to survive. But you need the right amounts and you need the right types. So that's something, you know, we don't have a whole lot of time in this video, but just simply you can look it up online. You can go to my website. There's a lot of great information on what carbohydrates are slow acting in your body and which ones are fast acting. You want to avoid the simple sugars like candy bars and things like that are going to spike your insulin. But you want to get the fibrous carbohydrates like a good, you know, a red potato or a sweet potato or broccoli and kale and all these different things that you can ingest that are going to give the body the nutrients it needs to grow and survive, but in the right portions as well.
Yeah.
So you need to eat all of those different nutrients: protein, carbohydrates, and fat. But just become educated on what types of fat and what type of carbohydrates and what type of proteins are good for you.
Okay, that's awesome. And portion size obviously is important too, because you can't just eat like a pound of potato, you know, mashed potatoes with butter and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like, how do you prepare? Like, just as an example, one little, you know, with your potatoes,
Well, there's a great measuring tool that, you know, the Body for Life program made really successful back in the early 2000s. It was the hand method. You know, our hand is proportionate to our body. So a carbohydrate, they say, the size of a fist. Fat, the tip of your thumb, and protein, the size of the palm of your hand and about the thickness of the palm of your hand. So that's going to give you a great portion control. So no matter where you're at, if you're eating out, if you're at home, you know, we live in the land of good and plenty. We go to an all-you-can-eat restaurant, and if you don't leave with your belt undone and going, they'll never invite me back here again, but put them out of business, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're stuffing yourself way beyond what your body needs. You're spiking your insulin. You're just really wrecking your body that way. So you should be grazing throughout the day with these smaller meals. And I felt like I was doing sign language out there. I don't know if that really meant anything or not, but it meant eat right. So yeah, that is key. And again, these are very simple tools and tricks that you can use to get in shape. Now, I mentioned traveling. I think a person who travels has the best situation in the world. Clark, I only eat at restaurants. Imagine, if you will, you're at home and you have a waitress and you sit down at your table and say, waitress, I would like the salmon, I would like the broccoli and some brown rice, please. And you sit there and they bring it to you. If you could have that at home, you would do it every single day. Yeah. Well, that's what you have at a restaurant when you're eating out. So don't ever tell me, I'm traveling, I eat out all the time. Please don't put any butter on that, and I don't need a huge portion. I just need about, this much rice. Ask them very politely, and they'll give you anything you want. Yeah. It's simple. So that's not an excuse, in my opinion. I travel a lot too, and I eat right, and I pack things. I take them with me, protein powders and different types of, protein that I can eat, and meal replacement powders and stuff. Yeah. So it's simple.
So you bring some stuff.
No excuses.
No excuses. And then the last part about nutrition is, so 3 meals a day, 2 meals a day. I mean, less more or more better? I don't know. That was bad better. English. More better. You don't have to be perfect English to get in shape, right?
Yeah. So one of the big things that people often say when I put them on a program nutritionally is, I can never eat this much food, because they're used to starving themselves. They don't eat all day long. They come home, they dive into the refrigerator, they eat the leftover foods that are in there. They eat till they're absolutely full, and then they repeat that process. So if you're grazing throughout the day, you're eating small proportionate meals that are in tune with your body and your size, you're never going to be hungry. You're going to eat more food than you ever imagined. You're going to get in the best shape of your life.
That's awesome. Okay, so where we're at right now, first video you've learned the mindset, which is the most important part. And definitely, and I totally agree 100%, obviously, is the nutrition is number 2. So in the next video, you're going to find out what number 3 is. And some of it may actually surprise you. You give it no clues.
Oh, okay.
No clues. But
I wasn't a clue. I was just showing up.
Okay, good. Yeah. So check out for video number 3, and you're going to find out the next clue how to get the best shape of your life.